Men, if you want the worst movie about love, but still a movie that will most definitely get your woman clutching you or jumping in your lap, well, Obsession just might be what the love doctor didn't order. Apparently, someone ordered a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, to go see this movie, Obsession, from excellent word of mouth. So, doing a review, even a tardy review on my part, became my obsession this week. So, I'm just going to do the review and not obsess about it over it today on Movies America Live.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
Well, hello there, everybody. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Boy, is it good to be back from vacation here. I missed you guys here for the last couple of episodes here. I was on vacation in Colorado and Utah, just tooling around Rocky Mountain National Park and Arches National Park and in Canyonlands National Park, just getting my outdoors on. And all right, I'm too much of an avid indoorsman much of the time, so want to be an avid outdoorsman at this time. And boy, climbing those Rocky Mountains did take a lot out of me. So now I'm back where I naturally find my peak sitting on my ass in a chair talking about movies right there. Okay, so I'm much better accustomed to this than climbing mountains or hiking up mountains. I shouldn't say climbing. I'm not trying to make myself look like Sylvester Stallone in Cliffhanger. I wasn't climbing mountains. I was hiking mountains, okay, and drinking plenty of water while I was doing it, okay. So yeah, let's not get it twisted. I wasn't some mountain climbing badass, all right. I was like hiking on hiking trails with little 4-year-old little kids, with their parents and all that hiking right around me. So no, I didn't have carabiners and ropes and I wasn't going free solo or anything like that. But enough about that. Point made. I was on vacation. Now I'm back to talk about the hot new horror movie from the last 3 weeks called Obsession. And apparently, not to sound too corny, but hey, you guys know me. I'm never above sounding too corny. The new Obsession over this movie Obsession these last few weeks here by a lot of moviegoers. Okay, it's good to see that good word of mouth still gets people out to go see a movie and instills that sense of urgency in them to go see a movie instead of doing the predictable lame thing, which is just waiting for it to come out on streaming. Like that's the basic thing to do. That's just your basic tactic to take, and then elevating yourself is going to the theater and that kind of thing to see a movie. Now, this is an R-rated horror movie, so yes, if you're a parent with kids, yeah, yes, I can understand. You're not going to go to the theater to check this out unless you want to, drop the, get a babysitter for your kids, and you and your wife, go out there and you and your husband go check out this movie. Because, like I said in the intro, it is a kind of a good movie. It's kind of a weird. This movie kind of creates a conundrum. It's a warped, twisted look at relationships. Yet I think it's going to get your wife, girlfriend, whatever, jumping in your lap right there. So that's always a good thing. Am I right, fellas, or am I right? Right. So, but again, hey, just want to welcome my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom fueled film fanatics here to this return show for Movies Merica Live there, as we're going to talk about Obsession here today. So real quick here, and I will get to some Obsession here. We'll get to the movie, the subject at hand. But real quick, again, just to let you know, there is the live chat because this is a live show. So you can get in the live chat on Rumble or YouTube. Yeah, get in there in the live chat and, see if you can jack me up or whatever you want there in the live chat there. Speaking of which, actually, I'm going to get into the live chat on YouTube as well, right there, because I want to set a good example here. There we go. Hey, I hear myself. All right. Get out of there. So that way I can see if anybody's live chatting there on the YouTube side. There you go. So as you can tell, I'm totally prepared for this show. Totally. All right. So some Obsession, because that's what you guys are here to hear about right there. And Obsession is directed by a director that people aren't, they don't know who it is. Okay. This is like his first full-length feature movie that he's directed, and his name is Curry Barker. Okay, no, not Clive Barker, Clive Barker, the author and director or anything like that. No, Curry Barker, which he's a young whippersnapper of 26 years old. He barely has any hairs on his chest. He's so young and everything, but he's making a big debut at the age of 26 with this hit horror movie. Obsession here, which it only cost $750,000 to make this movie, and they made it in like 21 days. Okay, and then I believe they debuted it at the Toronto Film Festival, the Toronto International Film Festival, or TIFF. To those industry insiders, the people in the movie know, they know it as TIFF. But it was debuted at the Toronto International Film Festival, and like I said, like A24 and Focus Features and like Atomic Monster and all these and like these not lower tier, like kind of more independent minded movie studios fighting for this movie. And I think it was always Focus Features ended up buying it for like 10 million. Again, like I said, it only cost $750,000 to make, and they bought it for 10 million. And now it's making gobs and gobs of money at the theater there due to a good word of mouth. So good for you, Curry Barker. Mr. Young whippersnapper, 26 years old, director. He's hitting out of the park. So he's 1-0 so far in like feature length, film debuts and all of that stuff. And then also this movie, another reason this movie only cost $750,000 is because it has a bunch of no-name actors in it. I've never heard of any of these actors, but sometimes, that provides for some of the best movies here. So we've got Michael Johnston, and he plays like the main character of Bear. And Michael Johnston, to me, just when I was watching him in this movie, he just kind of looked like Keith Gordon from Christine and Back to School and Dressed to Kill. Remember back in the 80s, like, kind of in the middle of the early part of the 80s, Keith Gordon was a thing. He was like played the lead and like the nerdy guy. What was his name? Lenny or something like that. And Christine, the movie about the killer car. And he was Rodney Dangerfield's son in Back to School, where, Dangerfield goes back to school, right? And then he was like the son of what's her face? Anyway, he was in Dressed to Kill as well. But anyway, all that to say is Michael Johnston to me looked like Keith Gordon from back in the 80s there. And then we also have Inde Navarrette, or let me do it again. Inde Navarrette. That's how I'm going to say it, because I'm a white guy. I'm a white boy from Iowa, so I'm going to say Navarrete, and she plays Nikki. Okay, so far we have Bear and we have Nikki. Okay, so and Bear is the guy. He's in love with Nikki, but he just doesn't know if Nikki will requite his love right there. But and hey, got Mr. Scott Awesome here in the live chat on the Rumble side here, just demonstrating how easy it is to get into the live chat on Rumble or YouTube right there. And he says that he is lurking, and I respect that right there. Sometimes you don't have the time to actively, watch or participate in the show, and you have it on while you're, doing something else. And that still helps me out. That still helps me out with watch minutes, because as far as Rumble and YouTube are concerned, people are still checking out the show and all of that stuff right there. So, Mr. Scott Awesome, respect. Okay, respect for that. But let's check out this trailer for Obsession.
Have you ever actually flirted with Nikki? If she means this much to you, to say, Nikki, I think we should grab a drink sometime.
You're the only person I get to really talk to.
I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the entire world.
It's weird how you two are dating all of a sudden.
I love you so much.
Jeez, what kind of clothes you put on her?
I know you like me, Bear.
Nikki? Nikki is going through something.
Like what? Is she okay?
No. She's obsessed with me.
Oh, it's not so bad.
You wished for this.
Obsession, only in theaters May 15th. Get tickets now.
All right, well, that's going to get me dinged on YouTube right there. I can just tell that right now. That's what happens when you don't screen trailers before you actually play them on the show. But oh well, there you go. Put the cuffs on me, YouTube. Put the cuffs on me. All right, what are you going to do? But you know, I think that trailer was needed to kind of give anybody who's totally uninitiated to Obsession a little peek, a little taste of what that movie's all about. I did not particularly like that trailer. Their first trailer I thought was better than that one, but I was having some technical difficulties, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. There you go, right there. So, but yeah, as you saw in that trailer, yeah, the brunette that was Inde Navarrette as a Nikki, and then we had a Bear. And am I right or am I right? Doesn't he look like if you remember back to the '80s and Keith Gordon? Am I right? He looks like Keith Gordon, kinda from back in the '80s and all of that. But so the plot is, and you know that trailer kind of touched on it. There is where you've got Bear. He's in love, or he thinks he's in love with Nikki, and Nikki is like his longtime friend, and they also work together at a music store, and he's at that place, we've been, we've all been at, in our lives right there, where you're like, I like this person, or I love this person, or I'm like, I really, I want to be with them, but do they want to be with me back? And it's almost worse if they don't give you any kind of clues. I mean, it's almost not as bad if they're like, if they give you kind of a clue, like someone says like, hey, you and him should hook up, and then she goes, ew. Well, there's your proof. Okay, well, hey, you've got your answer. She's not into you. Okay, she's just not that into you. There you go. But it's almost worse if you don't have confirmation like that, and you're like, I don't know if she's into me or not. But anyway, so he's trying to figure out like how to let her know how he likes her, how he really cares about her, but he doesn't want to ruin their friendship, and so he just fumbles it all the time, just cannot get it out. And so, he goes to this novelty store to buy something else, and then but he ends up ultimately buying this one Wish Willow is what it's called. I think you saw it there in the trailer, where basically it's just like a little twig or a little branch off a willow tree, and if you break it in half, well, you make a wish and you break it in half, and your wish is supposedly supposed to come true. And so his wish does come true. His wish to have Nikki, love him more than anything in the whole world, and in true like monkey paw fashion, there, you find a monkey's paw, you get a monkey's paw, and you make a wish, and yeah, you get your wish granted, but there's all kinds of other warped and twisted and typically bloody and horrifying side effects from your wish being granted, and that's what takes place in this one right here, where oh yeah, she sure does. Start loving him more than anything else in the world. But, then it turns into, hence the name of the movie, an obsession. And, when it goes from love to obsession, and when it's love, it's like, okay, she wants to be with you all the time, but doesn't demand it. She's like, if you want to go out with the fellas, she'll let you go out, as long as it's not all the time. And, maybe she'll want to go hang out with her girlfriends, and, as long as it's not all the time. And you're, she's just not like, she's not doing things like in this movie where she's like watching you sleep all night long. I mean, that's weird stuff. That's obsession. Okay. That's not love. That's obsession right there. And so the movie it goes into places like that, and then goes much, much further into the movie than that right there. So it's this is not definitely not a rom-com, not a feel-good, movie where you're gonna walk out of the theater with your significant other and be like, "Oh man, honey, I feel like our love is supercharged now. Oh my god," like no, no, no. It's gonna be okay. I don't know what to say about what I just watched. And if you're a single guy, you're probably gonna be like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna stay off of Hinge tonight because I'm not really that motivated to be finding any women right now. Maybe I'll just stay at home tonight, and not hit the bars tonight." So I mean, I could see that being a reaction from some after they go see this movie because yeah, that's not one thing that this movie does. It doesn't inspire love and a quest to find that special someone. No, far from it. It makes you want to be alone, very, very, very intensely. Okay, there you go. So yes, it is that kind of movie. All right, but hey, we got some more Obsession to talk about here. That is for sure. So let's move on. So we're all humans, right? I know I'm just like really going out on a ledge with that one, right? We're all humans. We've all been in a situation where you are, or you think you are deeply in love with someone, right? You're like, oh, I'm madly in love. I want to write them Valentine's cards all the time and write them songs and make them a mixtape and all that stuff. I'm so deeply in love with this person. You can't stop thinking about them. Everything that's not them seems mundane and dull by comparison. Maybe you hear a song and that song becomes, the song that reminds you of that one. I mean, I swear to God, for me personally, it was a new girl for me every year when I was in my teens that I had a crush on, right? So, I mean, you can't think of anything worse, than them not requiting your feelings whatsoever. And then a movie like Obsession comes along and shows you that there is a path that is much, much worse. And you should get down on your knees and thank the good Lord that what happens in this movie didn't happen to you. All right. So, I had a massive crush on Jackie Anderson in my mid teens. And, she cared about me about as much as I care about, soil erosion issues in Paraguay. Right. And by the way, hi, Jackie, in case you're watching right there. Been a long time. So, but however, at least things with me and her, didn't go down like what you see in this movie. So, we did dodge that bullet or steering wheel. If you know, if you've seen this movie there. So we did dodge that bullet or steering wheel there. Also, and this might just be blowing smoke up my own ass, Trinot's spacesuit, but I just don't think I could manipulate someone like that. I mean, to use something inorganic like the one Wish Willow, the little branch that he breaks, I don't think I could particularly like use something like that to manipulate, or to force someone to have feelings for me. I'd like to think that I'd recognize their feelings if I were to do something that aren't real and thus aren't earned. Okay, I didn't do anything for it. I didn't do anything that I should feel good about myself for doing. There, I mean, like when you get with somebody, a relationship starts. Whether you're a guy and you start a relationship with a girl because of something you did, or you're a girl and you start a relationship with a guy because of something you did. You know, I can only speak from the guy's standpoint, but if I start something and it's because I had the balls to go up and talk to him, I feel good about that because I'm like, all right, hey, I mean, I was able to go up there, talk to him, have the courage to do it. I was able to keep the conversation going. Whatever I said, it caused them to be attracted to me and all that. I didn't hose it up or anything like that. So not only are you happy about being with them, you kind of have a little, at least a little slight little sense of accomplishment. That hey, you know what, I made this happen at least in part, right? There, and so you kind of feel good about that. But if you did something like what Bear does in this movie, where he just uses this inorganic, demonic possession kind of thing, where you're breaking this twig and and it makes the girl of your dreams like you, not genuinely, not honestly, but just because of some little inorganic thing that you did, um, yeah, you're not going to feel, you're not going to feel great. I mean, at first it would probably feel pretty incredible right there. I mean, but after that honeymoon period, that would go away, and then you would know that you're like this manipulative fraud, and you didn't do anything of merit to actually make this romance happen. Okay, you'd feel like Jack Quaid's character in that movie Companion. There it came out a couple years ago or something like that, where all his character really did is go out and rent a sex bot. That's all he did. It wasn't. He didn't literally like go out there and make this romance happen or anything like that through any kind of like courage that he has right there. And Bear doesn't turn into as big an ass as Quaid's character did in that other movie right there, but Bear does ultimately put Nikki into this horrific possession and also says some outright lies in this movie that make it hard to empathize with him sometimes. Okay, like there's a couple lines where I heard him say it. I'm like, no, 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 no. That's an outright lie, man. Like, you were like this little Weasley little leech of a character, after he lied, to some friends in this movie there. Now, that could just be me giving myself too much credit. I mean, we never want to imagine ourselves as a bad guy, right? I mean, I would never stoop to as low as what some of these movie characters do, right? No, not me. Never, never. I'm always going to be the good guy. Yeah, I would never do anything like that. Not at all. Okay, so, but let's do this here real quick. I just want to double check and make sure that everything is in order here as we go through this obsession episode here on Movies Merica live here today. So, all right, let's move on here real quick. Okay, and I'll make this very quick and painless. Just want to let you guys know that there is the like button right on down there, okay? And also there is the subscribe or follow button, again, right on down there, okay? And then also there is the notification bell button. You just got to click on that. All that does is it'll just send you one lowly email a week letting you know that there's a brand new piping hot, fresh episode of Movies Merica Live coming out of the oven for you, okay? And then to my viewers that are watching the show, watching the show as a recording, you guys aren't watching it live. Well, we obviously can't communicate via the live chat, okay, like Mr. Scott Awesome and I can, and anybody else that's on the live chat. We're going to have to do it via a different venue, and that venue is the comments section, which is down below, okay? And yeah, I'd love to hear from you in the comments section. Ultimately, you can comment about whatever you want. You can put whatever comments down there that you want, okay? So, but hey, if you if you want to let me know. Hey, what do you think of the show? I mean, do you think the show sucks balls? Do you think it's somewhere in the middle? Do you think it's absolutely terrible? Hey, maybe comment. Hey, what's your favorite horror movie? Something like that. So, but anyway, all that to say that yes, if you're watching the recording of this, first off, thanks a lot. Hi, how you doing? Thanks for watching the episode. And yes, get into the comment section down below and comment. I'd love to hear from you there. And also, when I was on vacation, I was like kind of plugging my show to some folks there and whatnot. And hopefully hear from you guys here on the show and in the live chat there. And, just get in the live chat and say, hey, I'm that guy I met when we were whitewater rafting on the Colorado River. Or, I'm that girl that, was the tour guide on the raft and all that. Like that would be fantastic because, I mean, as everybody knows, you go on vacation, you meet some nice people, and it's fantastic to maybe keep that connection going after vacation. But anyway, I digress. Let's move on. Okay, and let me get a tug off my beer here, so because I'm getting parched with all this obsession talk. Oh yeah. And I'll be talking about this beer a little later on here in more depth during brew review time, of course, right there. But again, this is a reminder that, if you guys are drinking, if you guys got a beer cracked open or some wine or, Diet 7 Up or whatever you're drinking. Hey, man, hoist it up, okay, and enjoy. Because yeah, that's what this show is all about. Is it's supposed to be a little break for you, from any kind of work that you got to do, any kind of mundane tasks that you got. You should be able to like just kind of kick back, kick your feet up, sit back, relax, and enjoy your whatever beverage that you got going on. Because God knows that's what I'm doing right now. I am doing anything but work. I'm sitting here relaxing, talking about a fantastic movie with you. That is for sure. But we got some more Obsession to talk about, don't we? Yes, we do. And let's talk about the main female character in this movie, Nikki, okay? And this should be, without any doubt, a Best Actress Oscar nomination achieving performance for Inde Navarrette as Nikki. Now, will it? Of course not. Of course it won't be. Come on. Now, the Oscars, okay, to their credit, they did give Demi Moore a richly deserved Best Actress Oscar nomination for a role in a horror movie, The Substance, okay, a couple years ago. And then she criminally lost to the vastly overrated Mikey Madison for Anora. What? Did anybody see Anora? And if you did, like, did that movie even strike you as being worthy of any kind of awards? And did Mikey Madison strike you as someone that deserved any kind of credit as so much as a Oscar for that movie right there? She basically just played like this big freaking stripper slash hooker that just all they did was like just follow her around in this movie as she got into some, hilarious hijinks, with some dude who was using her and abusing her or something like that. So, but it was, all that to say is, yes, Mikey Madison did not deserve the Oscar win over Demi Moore in The Substance, but I don't know. It's anyway. I've got my thoughts as far as the political reasons why Oscar voters gave it to Mikey Madison instead of Demi Moore right there. But as a result, I think the Oscars will snab Navarrete since they'll say an actress got a Best Actress nom too recently for a horror movie. Oscar voters, man, they tend to take stupid things like that into their considerations. And we're talking about the Oscars, where a lot of stupid things have gone down at the Oscars here recently. Am I right or am I right? Right. So, an Oscar nom or no Oscar nom, Inde Navarrete gave her all to this role and had to overcome some of her fears of horror movies to play this meaty part, as you see here in this interview.
Oh my God, I didn't know how to scream beforehand, learned how to scream, lost my voice multiple days. I slept with the lights on for 6 months, racked up an electric bill, did not get sleep for quite a while, and watched more horror movies than I ever have in my entire life. Got sleep paralysis. The normal things on a film.
Yep, Inde Navarrete right there. And I can easily understand why she'd be willing to do all that overcoming, because this role is like a fun roller coaster, for any actor. I mean, she got to play normal, and then awkward, then creepy, then outright scary, and ultimately like bloody violent. Gee, buddy, I hope that wish was worth it there. Speaking of bear, I mean, and Navarrete holds nothing back and makes herself very vulnerable and awkward. I mean, she has to do some disgusting, shameful things in this movie here, okay? And they ultimately do serve the character and the story, okay? And it sort of reminded me of what like a typically very let me rephrase that. It kind of sort of reminded me of like what a typically very attractive Charlize Theron in movies did to herself for the movie Monster, where she played that serial killer alien Wernos. And, that was a big deal because Charlize Theron is usually just, a total smoke show in all her movies, but then she, made herself all look all disgusting, for Monster. And apparently that's something that Oscar voters really liked, because she won, the Best Actress Oscar for, uglifying herself. Is that a word? For Monster. And you get to know enough about normal Nikki at the beginning of the movie where it sickens you to see what she's doing / having done to her. At the end, because of Navarrete's powerful performance, the emotional payoff is phenomenal, okay? So there you go. But all right, let's move on here. Let's see what else we got going on here. And you know what? I think what it is, I think, the time that we all have to look forward to right now is that sweet, sweet brew review time. All right, and let me introduce you to the beer for today here. And don't have a whole lot to say about this here, other than it comes from Proper Brewing Company, and that comes to us from Moab, Utah, which is one of the towns I was at there on my vacation here. And we've got our Concerning Hops West Coast IPA here. And this is a beer that I was a fan of from the first drink here there. So anyway, but we've got that going on here. So, but